Hi everyone and welcome to Unit Review. We're your hosts Jack
and Dan.
And today we're looking at my favourite unit, the Convergence of Dominion.
Yes.
One of the best Necron units out there for everyone to use. If you haven't got them, stay tuned. You're going to immediately see how good they are.
If you're not picking up on the sarcasm there, this is yeah. I mean, Jack genuinely does love this unit. I'm going to bear with me a second here.
Oh, it's embarrassing.
I don't know if you can see this on camera, but he has literally a box full of 3D prints of these. He loves these so much. You were desperate for these to be good, aren't you?
I'm still desperate to make these guys work. So these are legitimate ones that I've built and painted and I'm very happy with.
I think, sorry to interrupt you, but I think we should take a moment to appreciate what a great paint job you've done. The Blackstone is absolutely perfect.
It took a long time. I have to watch the good couple of videos online to get them where they are, but they're probably one of the best units I've painted in probably... the least times I've played them. I think I've played them maybe once back in 9th. Never played them in 10th.
It's a real shame.
It's just, you'll see why.
Yeah.
you'll see why. They make a fantastic piece for your shelf. It's probably the best way of putting it.
Yeah.
But should we crack on as best as we can?
Yeah, say the line, Jack.
Stat block, Dan. Go ahead.
So they have a move of dash. It's not a move of 0, it's a move of dash. They cannot move, which is important. We'll come on to that in a bit. They have a toughness of 9, which is good. 3 up save, 7 wounds, leadership of 8, and no C of 0. I mean,
sure.
You can already see there's a massive amount of limitations with what you can do with these. But what about unit composition? Because you used to have to take all 3, but they've changed it, haven't they?
Yeah, because obviously they're coming in a box of 3. But I think in 10.4, sometime in 10.4 Index, they've made them a separate. So I'll go through that. So 1 model costs 60 points, 2 models cost 120, and as you guessed it, 3 models cost 180.
Right.
Now a little bit caveat to this is when you set up this unit for the first time on the battlefield, its models do not have to set up within unit coherency. Instead, each model must be set wholly within 12 inch of one another from this unit. From that point on, each model in this unit is treated as a separate unit.
Right. That's I mean, it's not exactly simplified, but simple. But I can kind of understand why you don't want to do that because they give, as we'll come on to, they give benefits to units around them, so you don't want them sat next to each other. And also, you could basically, block off
some terrain parts and such. Which we'll get onto.
But
so they're also equipped with the transdimensional abductor.
I think it's a great name.
It's a fantastic name. It's a shame that it doesn't really do too much.
Lore-wise, it basically like zaps you and takes you somewhere else. It's a bit like the monolith, isn't it?
Yeah.
It just as we'll come on to when we get there, it's not great.
I've tried to make them work several times, but yes. Keywords, Daniel.
Yes.
Start off.
Keywords. It's got Necrons. It's got vehicle. It's got fortification, and it's got convergence of dominion. That's it.
That is. Yeah.
And what about weapons? Because we mentioned the mighty transdimensional abductor. What does it actually do?
Exactly. So this is a beast of a weapon. It's okay. Let's give it what it's worth. It's okay. To 18-inch range. So bear in mind, 18-inch range. I'm going to stop here already. How far away is the opponent's deployment zone?
Yeah, I mean it can be quite far. Yeah.
And there's terrain in the way.
Yeah.
There's not a lot.
It's limited use.
It's limited. It has 3 attacks anyways, hitting on 4s, strength 6, -2 AP, and 3 damage. So I mean, look, strength 6, -2, 3 damage, not bad.
3 damage is a bit surprising. And it's we mentioned this a lot, but damage 3 will kill Terminators. AP 2 will usually. We'll put them on their invuln if they're not in cover. Yeah. So it's not awful.
It's not awful, but again, it's just with the 18-inch range.
Yeah.
Buildings in the way.
Yeah.
Good screening units, but just a bit too expensive.
You can't move it to get line of sight.
No. Exactly. Or maybe you can move it, which we'll get onto later.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But before that, Dan, abilities. You want to walk us through this?
So it's got reanimation protocols like all Necron units, so you can reanimate D3 wounds back in your command phase.
Yeah.
And now I'm assuming because you can treat each one as a separate unit, you can reanimate each one as a separate unit as well. Reanimation nodes, it's also got, which is an aura, while a friendly Necron's infantry unit is within 6 inches of this fortification. Models in that unit have the Feel No Pain 6+ ability. It gives a Feel No Pain aura of 6 inches to infantry only, but it's not,
no, not the worst.
It's not the worst.
No.
The next one is Ancient Cover. Each time a range attack is allocated to a model, if that model is not fully visible, to every model in the attacking unit because of this fortification, then that model has the benefit of cover against that attack.
Sure, it's terrain.
Yeah.
It's a fortification.
It's a fortification.
So it gets a little bit of terrain. Yeah.
And fortification is actually the last of these abilities. While an enemy unit is only within engagement range of one or more fortifications units from your army, that unit can still be selected as a target of range attacks. So they can't hide from your shooting by going into combat with this, which is good. But each time such an attack is made, unless it's made with the pistol, subtract 1 from the hit roll. And models in that unit do not need to take desperate escape tests due to falling back while battle shocked, except for those that will move over enemy models when doing so. So basically, if you charge this, you can fall back even if you battle shocked at no penalty.
Exactly.
Because it can't hit you.
Because it has no melee profile. It literally can't do anything. Yeah, I mean, obviously that's talking about the pistols. If you're in combat with pistols, you get -1 subtract. But by that tells me that if someone shoots at this, even if it's in combat, they don't suffer the -1.
No, but also an enemy unit. If it's an enemy unit's in engagement with this, then they also can be shot at.
Yeah.
So normally, if an enemy unit's if it's not a vehicle or monster, you can't shoot at it if it's in melee, but you can if it's in melee with one of your fortifications.
Because you're attacking a wall effectively.
Yeah. It's so niche.
What is the point?
Yeah.
What is the point? So as you can probably tell, we're not overly
it's
positive around this guy.
It's very, very hard to build a case for this. I mean, is there any stratagems that make it any better?
Well, overall, there's you just don't want to waste any stratagems on this guy because he doesn't fight very well. He can't move. And he has X, Y, Z. But the reason why I've got a little stratagem here is I put a poll out, a little question to the audience. Chrono Shift. So in the Star Shadow Arsenal, for 1 CP in your movement phase, I'm going to read it out loud so everyone can hear. But in your movement phase, you select 1 Necrons vehicle or mounted unit. So this is a Necrons vehicle.
Yep.
The effect is, until the end of the phase, if your unit advances, do not make an advance roll for it. Instead, until the end of the phase, add 6 to the move characteristic of the model in that unit. Now, I put a little poll out because reading that initially, I was a little bit confused, but there's been a few clarifications in the comments. So again, thank you so much for mentioning that. So my initial thoughts were, oh, great, right, well, this unit, I'm going to spend a CP to give it that 6-inch movement.
All right.
To try and force it to work to some degree. I just thought the reason why I had so many 3D prints out for was because I made a list in the past called Labyrinth, which I tried to make work where I was thinking in the Hypercrypt Legion, you could put up to, if you brought the enhancement, you could put 4 units in reserve.
Yes.
So my idea was, the list was called Labyrinth, to basically pick up 4 of these and then place them around buildings and around the terrain on their side.
Right. It's kind of like move block your opponent.
Exactly. Move block with actual these fellas.
I love it.
I thought it would be a really funny idea, but as you read into fortifications, you can't put fortifications into reserves.
No.
So I was gutted about that.
Yeah.
And then I was gutted about this one because I thought reading that initially you could do it.
Yes.
But someone pointed out in the comments there's something written down in the profiles of the, I think it's page 38, section 2 of the
quite specific.
It is, because the guy corrected me, which I'm very appreciative of. But basically inside there, it says that if you have a dash as your movement characteristic, you cannot move at all.
Right.
Now, I don't know if the stratagem overrides that ability or not, because it's saying it can't move at all, which makes sense. It can't move. But then we also boil down to, can this unit, is he eligible to advance?
This is the trick, right? This is the question, because if it specifically says add 6 to the move characteristic of models in your unit, therefore it no longer has a move dash.
Yeah.
So therefore if it has a move 6, it can move 6.
Yes.
But if it has move dash, it can't advance.
Yeah.
So can you therefore play the stratagem to give it?
I would love for everyone to know. Please let us know in the comments what your thoughts are, because I think I put the poll on screen, but I think it was like 60 odd said no, like 40 odd said yes.
It's an interesting one. You need to be a right rules lawyer to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
But also, it's such a bloody edge case,
I mean, look, no one's going to bring it. So this argument that I'm making will never come up.
We'll come on to that.
Yeah, but I just want to make these guys work. Yeah. I love the models. I love the idea of them being on the field. I just feel like they need a lot of love.
They do need a lot of love. I have an edge case for them, which I haven't ran yet. It's in a list that I'm going to be running next week, hopefully. But it's is putting one of them in my Awakened Dynasty list, which is based around the Unkillable Warrior blob, which is quite popular at the moment.
Yeah.
And the thinking behind this is I don't have enough points for a spider, because a Canoptic Spider will give you better feel no pain and it's more mobile. But if you haven't got enough points for a spider, you can drop one of these in. Because the Unkillable Warrior blob is tailed back to your deployment zone, you can keep it within that 6-inch aura.
True.
And therefore, you're going to give them a 6-up feel no pain, which makes them even more unkillable. So that there is a minority edge case there.
Very small.
I will get back to you on this one because I've got a horrible feeling it's not going to work very well. But if you are really struggling for points in the list and you can't fit a spider in, this is a slightly cheaper and worse alternative. It's not as good, but it gives you that feel no pain.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I can think of.
I just love the idea of making them work. Like I just want them to.
They are among, in my opinion, they are among the best Necron models and the most Necron-y Necron models.
That's it. You look at these guys and you can tell immediately these guys are just full of Necron juice.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Absolutely love them. And they struggle by being fortifications, and GW doesn't like fortifications in 10th edition, does it?
For fortifications, they hate them.
They exist, but they're not real. They're making them difficult to use.
They brought them back. I think did they bring them in 8th edition?
I think it was 8th. Yes.
Yeah, and then they were just like, oh, fortifications, and obviously there was like we've talked about it before with like Sisters of Battle, Tau have like the Tau shield wall and such.
Space Marines have some fortifications
like
as well.
the gun turrets and such. But just there's loads of things that make them work. And then I think as 9th and 10th and Index came out, they were just like, nah, push these to the side. Like, what were we smoking back then to have these guys out there?
There was a couple of uses for them in 9th, but I'm sure that you could teleport them or bring them out of reserve or something like that. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember seeing the points dropped towards the end of 9th edition when people started taking them because they were just so cheap. There was like in competitive lists you would see them, but a points drop is not going to fix them in this edition, I don't think.
No, well, unless they was super cheap, because I've got a few ideas again.
Yeah, go for it.
How to play them. There's not there. How to verse them. You would never see them.
Yeah. You don't need to worry about it. Really.
So basically, I guess another little segment I always kind of bring back when a unit is this bad is, what do they need to work?
Yeah, you've got some great points in here.
Yeah. So just first of all, a complete rework. Just the stat block.
Don't mince your words here.
Yeah, right. Just the abilities, the stat block. Everything about them sucks. Let's just be real. A couple of things that you could do with the state that they're in there now is completely cut the points. So if you put them at half price, so what, 80 to 40 points? 40 points is
60 to 30, yeah.
60 to 30. Yeah. So again, you'd basically be putting them to the point where you could be like, all right, cool, these are going to be guys are my screening units.
Brilliant, yeah.
Fantastic screening units. Because again, they can't move, they can't do anything. No one's going to really shoot them because unless they really want to deploy someone back there, they might have to shoot them to take them out and then deploy them. It's just that you could keep your backfield super safe and deny a lot of points, which I'm quite on board with. But that would only be possible with points.
Yeah, you're right, because it needs to be 180 points. I'm still not bringing 3 of these as a backfield screen. It's too many points.
Just too many points.
If it was 90 points,
I could probably get away with that.
That's a really good idea.
The other way was a deep strike. So giving these guys the ability to deep strike just allows them to keep up with those mid-board objectives to kind of give them the
just
benefits.
Want to run that hypercrypt list, don't
okay,
you?
Maybe
that
would
be so
maybe
funny.
I do.
Honestly, I would love to see it.
I just think the idea of a labyrinth would be so funny, just to move block as many things as possible. I just think it's funny.
Yeah.
But overall, I just think giving them deep strike to, again, make my list come true.
Yeah,
pun intended. But also just to get them up there with other guys to do it, I just think it's beneficial.
It would actually, I can understand for most fortifications, I'm probably biased here, but I can understand for most fortifications why GW said they can't move. But Necron's whole thing is kind of hyperphasing in and out. So, there should be. It should be possible in my opinion.
What's it like? They can deep strike once per game, and it's like they just like come up from the earth like kind of thing.
Yeah, Dawn of War style.
Yeah, exactly. So they're my ideas. I think there's probably a lot more ways you can make them. Please let me know how you guys would like to see these guys get reworked in the future.
They're just so beautiful. There's a guy does a lot of Necron back reps called Heretic Dave. I've mentioned him before. He's got a good YouTube channel, and he very often will run them as almost as terrain or objective markers type of thing.
Yeah.
Just to
get the use from them.
Just to get them off the shelf.
To clean the dust from them.
They just look so nice on the tabletop. It always makes you think, I wish those worked.
Yeah.
His are pretty nicely painted, but yours are the nicest.
Too kind, Dan. Too kind. Maybe a bit biased in there, but I'll take it.
Yeah, definitely. No, they're totally lush. I think. I wouldn't like to paint 9 of them, but they are totally lush.
They are very good.
Good. All right. Well, I think that wraps it up, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think there's not much more to say about these guys.
Yeah, it's this is basically the last official unit in the Codex. I think 'cause we left it to last for a reason because it's terrible. We're hoping that GW might do something before we got to the end.
Yeah, but they just didn't do anything with it.
No, let us down, GW.
They absolutely did, as always. Yes, but we've got the Strap heavy construct to do next.
Nice.
So we'll have to look into that a bit more because it's quite a lot of points and such. So I don't think I'll play them too often.
No, it's an absolutely mental model. I love it. It's like from that. It's definitely from the bonkers end of 40k. We've got one. Somebody kindly built and printed as well. Didn't build as one. Printed as one and sent us it. So we're going to talk more about that when we get into the video.
I want to give it the justification that it needs because obviously it was very nice of him to gift it.
Oh, it was lush.
Yeah, get the pictures built nice. Try to get it painted as much as I can. Yeah, it'd be very nice to see.
Good. So something to look forward to. If we depressed you with this video, look forward to that one. If you are relatively new to the channel, there is now the entire Codex datasheet backlog is there. Go and have a look. We've got videos for all the units, so please enjoy them. And thank you for watching this one. If you're still stuck with us all the way through to the Convergence of Dominion, you're a true Necron enjoyer.
Or you're just crazy. So
you're glutton for punishment. But thank you. And we'll be back soon with another video.
As well. Mention our patrons out there as well. So thank you so much for the patrons. Have your names on screen.
We did get a few, like you said, we did get a few comments from this one. So we'll run their names on screen as well.
Certainly will.
I always forget that. I'm so bad. I'm so sorry.
On the last video as well,
Dan. On the last video, Screw you all, I don't need you anymore. No, I'm joking.
We're done. We're retiring.
Well, obviously this series has been called Unit Review, but we've done other videos like tier lists and army lists and things like that. We're going to be still, don't worry, there's going to be a lot more Necron content coming still, isn't there?
Exactly. Yes, we've got some again like unit review and reviews, tier reviews,
tier lists, detachment tier lists,
loads of ideas,
combos. We've got there's going to be loads more Necron content to come that will carry us more than enough into 11th edition. Feels weird saying that, doesn't it?
That is crazy. When we were pre-planning, like, all right, we're walking with, like, put ourselves up to, and we're like, oh, this will actually take us up till 11th.
Yes.
Which might be scaring a lot of people out there because we're well past the halfway mark now for 10th. So
Let that scare you. Yeah. You've got basically another less than a year now before they start the hype train for 11th edition. It's mental.
Let's go.
Can't wait to see what they do with it, to be honest. But thank you again. This time, genuinely thank you for watching this, and we'll be back soon with another video.
Thank you.